If you caught this part of the video, I think you caught the live for sure. You've caught the live unedited edition home Gadget Geeks Thursday night, April 11th, 2019. If you're catching the recorded version of this, hang tight. We'll get started in five or 6 or 7 minutes or so. Catching the recorded version, if you're catching the live version, hang around. We'll get started, and you can chat with us in the chat room. Hopefully, if you're on the live page, theaverageguy.tv/live, you can find the new, there's a link below the video window that will take you to the YouTube channel that has the chat in it. We'd love to have you join us that way. Mike, Bud Light Orange is back.
Oh, making a comeback, huh?
Oh, it's so good. It was, they don't, in the winter, it kind of goes away. It's harder to find.
It does, yeah. And we hit 70 degrees, so you got to whip it out.
I know. Well, not right now, though. It's like,
no, not today. Because it's Nebraska, so,
it's like
snow now.
We just lucked out not getting that cyclone bomb again. Our friends to the north, Schoonover and those guys, I think they probably have a foot or so of snow, which is just nuts. But I've been doing that in a lot of Guinness. I should probably load up a Guinness before we get started.
I was wondering what I was going to do. I don't know what I'm going to have.
I know.
I should probably get something too, though.
I shouldn't have started the video until we had our beer. Darn it. There's nothing like, live stream jumping.
And then empty chairs for like 20 seconds.
Here, maybe I could text Sarah and see if she'll bring me a Guinness in a glass. Let's
I might do a little tequila on the rocks.
Whoa.
There's a little one.
Oh, that's getting serious.
Well, I don't have any beer. I'm all out of beer again.
Oh,
I've been trying to keep that out of the house.
Mark Robson says pineapple sour beer to start tonight. So that's what he's going with.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, you'll do that. Let's see if I can get ping Sarah and see if she'll bring me. Can you bring me a Guinness? I don't know if that's how you spell Guinness. Genius? No, it's not genius. It's Guinness. And a glass. I guess I could walk away. I just don't want to leave you guys hanging out there. Brian's looking for some Godfathers. Yeah, Brian, you should just come to Omaha. I'll take you to Godfathers. We don't have to do a meetup. We don't even need an excuse for it. You can just come. I'll take you to Godfathers anytime you want. So the original owner of Godfathers Pizza, Willie Thiessen, I know him, which is pretty cool. He's a good guy, super good guy. Sold it back in the 80s, maybe, or something like that. Doesn't own it anymore, but Mark said a couple of inches of snow this week, not too bad. Yeah, the northern states, South Dakota and Minnesota, just getting hammered. Probably Wisconsin. Those guys are getting hammered right now. Godfather's is pizza. So some good. If you're joining us live for the first time, a few names I don't recognize. Welcome. Ron, we're going to show off your coins again tonight. I think you were out 2 weeks ago and I got them. So we will show those off tonight. So they're coming up. You can see one of them right there. So, I didn't know Pilot truck stops have them. Yeah, they're great. I mean, staples of Omaha as Godfathers and Valentinos. I think I would choose Valentinos between the two. I've been getting big time into Guinness in the bottle. I mean, in the can with nitro. And God, it just pours so nicely. I wonder what Uyghur's up to. What he's going to get. Was he? Herman Cain, the CEO of, I'd have to look that up. I don't know for sure. I'm going to have to thank her in advance for that. It's pretty great. Thank you. Maybe she's listening to me. Never know. Let's see. You guys are set there. What's going on tonight, guys? Thanks for joining us. If you're joining us live for the first time. Oh, you were there when I showed those? Oh, okay. Well, then maybe we won't do it. Ron, we put them up there. Thanks for doing that. We put that one up there. Thanks for doing that. I didn't want to leave them. I started the live show, and then I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna run out of beer. That's not a good. I was able to get I think they were selling these during the what's the holiday? St. Patrick's Day. These are those commemorative cans. Yeah. See, I got these cans, commemorative cans for.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
When was that?
St. Patrick's Day.
Did a little Don Julio. This is some good stuff. I really like it. It's really good.
A little tequila.
Nice. With the big sphere. I love those.
The beer out of the house. Is that what you said?
Yeah. I'm in another one of those competitions at the gym. So, first of all, trying to eliminate alcohol in general. It's supposed to be, but who can do that?
All right, Ron. We'll talk about him because Mike wasn't here. You're right. So we'll talk about him. Heather's birthday is St. Patrick's Day. Oh, that'd be a great day to have as a birthday. It'd be good or bad depending upon how you approach St. Patrick's Day. If you go out and party, it's the best day in the world. If you don't, I guess it could still be a really good day. We choose in Omaha, St. Patrick's Day is kind of amateur hour with drinking. So we kind of just huddle in the house and we don't go far on St. Patrick's Day. I think I provide my own beer. We don't go. This year was Sunday. I think it was on a Sunday. So I think in Omaha they partied starting Friday night and then did it all day Saturday and then again all day Sunday.
Yeah, is that like what do they call Fake Patty's Day? Isn't that like the weekend before on a Saturday or the Saturday before or something like that?
I don't know.
It was like Fake Patty's Day or something. I don't know. It's what the kids do.
It's exactly what the kids do. Have you been down to the new Marriott and they got that beer can alley?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
Have you been to the what's it called there? It's like the stock exchange bar. Okay, so right next to the country bar everything looks like a ticker, like a stock ticker, and the prices for all the drinks are listed and they go up or down based on demand. So if no one is getting them, the price starts to go down. So you can get a really good deal. Nice. But like as soon as like someone goes and orders a round for the table, then the price of that shoots up, And so it's really kind of fun how, it's all gimmicky, but it's still, but it actually does react to the demand. It's not, cool. That part's not fake. They're not just going up and down because you'll notice you'll wait for the cheapest thing. You'll order a round of it and all of a sudden that thing just shoots up. Yeah.
Is it shots the same way or it's just beer?
Everything, all their drinks.
Here we
go. Every drink is on there.
Here's the night.
Oh, that nitro.
Oh, there's the nitro.
Sound of that nitro.
Oh yeah. Little whistle. That's good. And then here's my favorite part on the pour. On this, you got to be careful on a Guinness because I almost spilled. There, you got to be careful on a Guinness because it definitely foams up a lot.
Oh yeah,
and
that's a great part.
Yeah, and then get it right about there. Go all the way in on it. I'll let that just kind of sit.
Oh yeah.
And I love this. Love that sound on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just love watching that thing. Look at that. Look at the way that's coming back in there.
Put you in a trance.
That's beautiful. Look at the lighting on there.
Yeah, that's really good.
Pretty great. It's so we'll let that do its thing.
Mark joins me. He says his favorite tequila is Don Julio as well. Yeah, this is the first time I tried it. This is the Blanco, so it's clear. I also have Patron Gold up there, and
that's pretty great.
This one's better for on the rocks. That Patron's really good for margaritas, but the clear is really good just to kind of sip on.
A year ago, we had a birthday party last weekend for my son, and a year ago he had a big party, and we did shots of tequila at the end of the party. It's
not a good idea.
Not advised.
See, and I don't like shots of tequila. I just like to sip on it. It's a good sip and drink if you have good tequila.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's do this thing.
Let's do it.
I think we are set. Do I have everything? Lights are on. Feels like it's been a long time, but just a week.
It's been a while for me. It's been like 3 weeks for me.
Yeah. Little time off.
It's been 2 for you.
Yeah. Well, we had Rich on. So, all right, let me do this thing. This is the Average Guy Network, and you have found Home Gadget Geeks show number 397, recorded on April 11th, 2019. Here at Home Gadget Geeks, we cover all the favorite tech gadgets that find their way into your home, news, reviews, product updates, and conversation, all for the average tech guy. I'm your host, Jim Collison, broadcasting live from the AverageGuy.tv studios here. And Mike, I thought we had spring like on the way, and no, apparently not. It's chilling off for the weekend. Thank God, no snow, right?
Well, I thought we almost skipped spring and went straight to summer because this weekend my boys were literally out in the backyard, shirts off, playing in the water. Mainly because it felt just so nice. There was no wind. It was like 75 degrees, which compared to what we have been, they were loving it. I'm like, did we skip spring? And no, it's Nebraska, so don't worry. Winter will come roaring back, and it was a little bit cold today.
Our best day is not even as good as the worst day in Southern California. So, the sun comes out and we're all just stripping clothes off.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, it's 65 degrees.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's the sun.
It feels great.
We haven't seen it in forever. So cold, chilly night tonight. We are in one of those cyclone bombs coming through again and dumping a foot of snow. So if you're north of us, North Dakota, Western Nebraska, Eastern Colorado, or Minnesota, a little bit of Wisconsin, we hope that you guys hunker down. The snow will be gone as fast as it arrived. It's gonna warm up behind it and you'll be done. But stay safe if you're in those states, and appreciate you guys taking it and it not coming to Omaha. It could have easily come through here. Of course, we post a show with world-class show notes, and we have a bunch of them tonight at theaverageguy.tv. You can also join us on our live mobile app. Don't forget, you can get that for free. It's available iPhone or Android just in the store. Just search Home Gadget Geeks, or you can go to homegadgetgeeks.com and just download them. I have 2 buttons right there. You can get it right from there. I want to thank our Patreon subscribers and appreciate you guys' sponsorship of that and kind of helping me pay for that to get it out to you. Appreciate it. You can find it homegadgetgeeks.com. I want to also thank those of you who jumped in the Discord group. We have had quite a run over the last couple weeks. A bunch of you jumped in there to do that, and I'm going to look at it, and it looks like it's 30 or so that have. Well, we have 17 online right now, and then another 42 of you who are offline. So
62 of us.
62 have jumped in. You could jump in too if you haven't done that yet. Head out to theaverageguy.tv/Discord. Join the group. We're keeping it relatively spam and troll free. So we got a couple moderators out there. I really don't. I want to make it as good or better than the Home Server Show forums or the Reset forums that Dave does. We're just trying to keep them nice and clean and helpful. If you see a troll, let me know. Let one of the admins know. You'll get the boot. And then don't be a troll and some of those things. Okay, so we'll do that. Big thanks to Rich Hay. He was on 2 weeks ago. We took last week off. Sorry if you were like, hey, where's the podcast? Where'd it go? I took some time off, and I was in New Orleans last week on a work assignment. It was super fun. We had a good time, although it rained the 2 days that I was there. A local flooding, Mike. We had some, not Katrina-like flooding, but we had some local flooding. It rained so much down there. Of course, New Orleans, it just sits in a basin, right? I mean, it's not like it's below sea level. So,
okay, is that why? Because I've always heard that they, even just a little bit of rain can sometimes affect them a lot.
Yeah, no.
Never been there though, so that makes sense.
We didn't get too much. I did get a chance to. They have walk-up bars, so you can walk around the streets. It's illegal to carry alcohol and smoke while you're walking around on the streets. So I got a bourbon, got a cigar, walked around last Thursday. It was Thursday night. Last Thursday night when we've been podcasting, enjoyed that. That was kind of fun. But Rich Hay, thanks for coming on the week before. Of course, WindowsObserver.com. We talked a lot about Windows 10. And it looks like Microsoft's going to take a little bit of a different direction. Kind of we all thought that Windows 10 would release here in April. And I don't think we're going to see it now, Mike, till early May.
Okay.
And they're changing some of the cadence and the way they do things. It's actually, going to be named the May 2019 update. So if you're watching your computers, we just went through a Patch Tuesday this week. We'll probably, it's April. So you'll probably get one more cumulative, and then there will be a launch sometime in May. I would say, 20 days from now, something you want to watch for. If you got critical processes running on your computer, you got things kind of going on that you need to watch for where automated reboots aren't helpful. Of course, I have all of those things going on because I got miners running and those kinds of things for crypto. By the way, what crypto show this week? So if you haven't joined us for the crypto show, stay around if you're listening live, or you can go over to Patreon and catch it right now if you want to do that. If you're listening after the fact, theaverageguy.tv/Patreon, we provide them. The crypto shows out there. So a little bit of change, a little update from that show 2 weeks ago. you just kind of want to watch what's going on. This new, the 1903 or the May update is going to be super confusing. It's going to get some changes. Kyle had complained to me, about a year ago, maybe less, about he had Windows 10 Home, and Home, they gave you no ability to delay anything for any reason at any time on the updates. And it sounds like we're going to get some more updating ability in some of the newer builds that are coming out. So still not what a lot of people want. I think a lot of tech enthusiasts want to just be able to delay those updates forever, or until they say Windows is never going to go for that. Or Microsoft is never going to go for that. But it's now is the time to start watching. So make sure you get the update if you want it. You delay it if you can. Whatever you're going to do, I would just keep an eye on that. That should be here by early May. Mike, welcome back. You got super sick, right? And
we did. We got super sick with a stomach bug hit both Hannah and I. And oh man, I'll save you guys the gory details, but we were down for the count. I texted Jim. Thursday was the easier of the 2 days, but I was still like, dude, I don't know if I can hack it for an hour. So luckily Rich was there and offered a great show. It was also, I listened to that one in audio form. And it was great. So I'm glad he was there. But yeah, I missed the show. I texted Jim, or I Facebooked him this week, and I was like, man, I'm so excited to be on. I feel like it's been forever, because with us being off last week and me being off the week before that, I'm excited to talk some tech.
Yeah. Let's get to it. Although we got some housekeeping to do. One, while you were out, and I think you saw these, but Ron sent us the coins that he 3D printed, which is super cool. This is kind of the plain one with just a solid green on that. He also sent one that has white, so green with white in the middle. This one actually has the Glasses logo. It's harder to see because of my light, so I apologize for that. You might want to go over to YouTube. If you listen to the audio version, you want to see these.
Well, that's what I was doing. So I only listened to the audio 2 weeks ago. So I actually have not seen these, and they're super cool. I was looking at them in the pre-show, and I love the big one behind you too. And they look amazing. I cannot believe those came off a 3D printer, to be honest.
There's a comparison of the two.
The level of detail you can get to is really cool on those.
Yeah, really great. This one's got our names. So Mike on this side. And on here somewhere, I think it says Jim and Mike, which is super cool. And then right over my, is it over this one? Yeah.
Yeah, over your left shoulder on our right side of the screen. There you go.
Pointing to it right now on the screen right here. It's available. That's a big one. That's good size and super cool. 3D printed. I'm sure Ron is this. He's in the chat room right now. Would these be final? Like, are you happy enough with these that you'd be like, oh yeah, I'd give that plan out to somebody. I'd make that plan open source, and anybody could print it on their 3D printers. So you can drop that in the chat, Ron, if you think that's cool. So
I think they're awesome. I hope he's happy enough with them for a final draft, because I think they're really cool.
I'm going to bring these over to you at some point, Mike.
I'm excited to see them in person.
See them in person and pick one and have it there. Maybe we can throw it mounted on your workbench or something.
Yeah,
behind you. Super cool. And Ron, thanks for. He said there's a file for it. Thanks for doing that. It's super cool to be able to get that from a listener and that kind of expertise on that. And so, Ron, we appreciate you doing that, and appreciate the note that he sent as well inside the envelope. And thanks for doing that, Mike. This week, my wife's UPS bit the
dust, huh?
Bit the dust. Thank you. There we go. I don't know where I was going on that one. I'm 2 beers in, and this could get really interesting because I have a third with the Guinness. That's
all right. There we go.
We'll see how this goes by the end of the.
It'll be a great crypto show.
You're probably right. If you want to see a real train wreck tonight, just wait around the crypto show. I have an APC UPS 350. If you look that up in the show notes, there's a link for it. Pretty standard UPS that I put. She has a Core i5 computer, 8 gig, 16 gig of RAM. It doesn't really matter. I think she's got a 500 gig, or no, maybe I put a 250 gig SSD in there. Pretty low requirements for the computer. It runs dual monitors. Don't necessarily need to back those up. We really use UPSs here at the Collison house because for a time we would get brownouts where a squirrel would jump across the line or for whatever. We had a transformer in the neighborhood was not working very well, and so we'd get these drop in power and then they come right back on. It would just wreak havoc on the computers, right? So I ended up putting UPSs on everything, and I've kind of right-sized the UPSs around the house. So the networking gear and all the networking modem routers, they're all on their own UPS. So that's a smaller Doesn't take a lot to run that equipment. So that's kind of a separate one. Then between all the PCs I have in the studio here, they're separated between three actually UPSs. I've got some big 1000s, some APC 1000s that are down here. Those are pretty industrial strength. They'll run a couple PCs. I've got another 550, I think it's back here. Runs the Kangaroo. It runs the small Dell. It runs the Drobo, some of those kinds of things. Hers went bad. The 350 is not a very, I mean, it's a pretty inexpensive. I probably paid $50 for it, and I probably bought it locally at Best Buy or something like that, just on a sale kind of deal. So I kind of have a question for you, Mike, because it's like I'm at this decision time. So probably $40 right now. I could get an Amazon Basics. The link is in the show note if you want to see this. So I can get an Amazon Basics piece of crap. Well, come on, it can't be those can't be quality. This is the Walmart this is the Walmart brand, right?
Well, I was actually pretty excited because I was going to tell you I have one. I use it right under this desk, and it's been great.
Sorry,
it's not the one that's on my server rack, right? Because I have the regular what brand are those? CyberPower 1400. It's a really nice one in the rack. Works great. But for my desk, I have the Amazon Basics. I was going to actually open up the link that you put, because I see if it's the same one. And this thing, honestly, no complaints. It doesn't have any of the fancy features, right? Like you don't have the screen that shows you the output, anything like that. But if you don't need that, if you just need backup power, and it has the beeper on it that alerts you if it's being overdrawn. So when I plug in, I realize that when my printer kicks on, that can overpower it because I have a lot of stuff plugged into it. Actually, I have this whole desk, my iMac, my screen, my Xbox, all of it plugged in there. And, but it works well. So don't knock it. Are you talking about the 400 VA one?
Yeah, the 400 VA.
Yep.
That's out there. Yep.
It works fine. Okay. I think you maybe go for it.
Okay. So before we go for it, hold on, there's a couple options. So
okay.
$40
options. Okay.
$39.95 with Prime shipping's free. So $40, right? Or I could get a new battery to replace the APC. It's a nice unit, right? It's got I don't use any of those features, so they don't really matter. It's just a UPS at that point. That battery shipped Prime $20, so half the price. Right?
Okay.
Or I could upgrade to a little bit better UPS. For $60, you can get a pretty good unit that would sit in there a little more. It could handle a little bit more. Now I don't plug a lot into that thing, so I don't know if I need it. But the upgrade to it is $60. So $60 to upgrade and replace, $40 to drop the Amazon Basics and be done with it, or do the eco-friendly. And I bet I could probably take it down to a Light Bulbs Plus or whatever.
Find the battery.
Bulbs, find it locally. Although I don't know why I would. For $20 and free shipping, I should just have them ship it to me. So what do you think? 60, replace it. 40, get a new one, but do the Amazon Basics. 20, go with the battery. What are your thoughts?
So there's one more option I'll throw in there, and that's the CyberPower, which is the more reputable brand. I do like CyberPower. I think they work pretty well. 350 VA, so not 400, but still 255 watt for the same $39.
Okay.
So you could go that route. That's actually probably what I would do. Okay. I would go CyberPower. You get more of the name brand than Amazon Basics for $39. I don't know. I guess it depends. If you're happy with the unit, the battery, I guess, is that's all this thing is a battery, right?
It really is, yeah.
So it's not like one of those, then the CPU is going to go bad and the RAM. No, it's just a battery. So maybe you do go just battery. I always like, if I'm going to switch that anyway, but then again, you could do 2 more batteries. I don't know how long that battery has lasted for the price of replacing it.
Yeah, I wonder, that's one of those things I need to take a piece of blue tape, put it on there and write the date. You put it in the connection just so you get some idea.
And what's the power rating on the one you have currently?
350.
350. Okay.
350 VA.
So you'd be stepping up a little bit with the Amazon Basics.
Yeah. No, you get a little bit more. I don't know if I need it, right? One of the things I've noticed whenever I bought replacement batteries, it seems like they never last as long as the factory ones. Like you get them and they seem to, at least my experience with replacing batteries and things like this is that you get that replacement battery and it's a half to 3/4 of what you got out of the new one. It seems like the factory one lasts so much longer. Then you go to the replace. Now it's totally anecdotal. I haven't written any of that down. I have no proof that it just seems to be that way. Maybe because I'm paying attention to it. Other Jim says in the chat room, I could just replace it with a laptop. Like
that's a good point.
Yeah.
A little bit more expensive.
Yeah. And what I would do, she's been talking about wanting a laptop. So this actually could play into it right now. get her a laptop, set a little docking station, use those 2 monitors, and then she can take it with her. Then that Core i5 would come back into the lab, right? And it's a good little box, little Lenovo Mini, right? So it's really thin, really short, uses the shortened. If you put something in it, you got to use the half height cards for it. So Ken asks, any sine wave? No, I don't know if I need. I don't know if I need the sine wave features that come with some of the more expensive UPSs. Many of them are coming that way by default now. It's kind of what I've noticed. Ken says, okay, a Core i5 miner.
Ken read my mind. I was going to go and I was like, I'm sure it's going to be another mining machine down in Jim's.
We'll talk about that in the crypto section that we do later. Well, I'll have to decide. Mark says to replace the battery, and I'm kind of leaning that way. He also says I ended up replacing batteries in his about every 3 to 4 years. That's kind of what I expect. The batteries are only, they're 6 inches by 6 inches by 8 inches, 10 inches maybe, right? They just pull the connectors, put it back in, you're back up and running. For $20, Mike, that's kind of like, do I really want to, when you're thinking about that, do I really want to do that? And then I'm sure I could take the battery down to Batteries Plus or whatever and drop it off. I don't think they would charge me to take the battery. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think, those battery stores, do you think they?
Oh yeah, they recycle. I do know that for sure.
But do you think they'd charge me to drop one?
No, that I don't know.
I bet Best Buy would take it without.
Yeah.
Without.
I know there are places that are free around here that take them.
Okay. Well, I'll have to give it. I have to give it a look. We mentioned this in the first part of the show. We've gotten a lot of good conversation out of Discord. Love to have you join us over theaverageguy.tv/Discord. Mike, what's the best? What have you seen? You're in there more than I am. What have you seen? What's been good?
We've had some fantastic conversation about a lot of stuff, but the ones I've seen that have been really taken off are home networking and Unraid. We've had a lot of good questions. Gavin Campbell was walking us through the process of switching over to Unraid, going through getting his Docker set up, everything like that. I Am Spartacus actually built a whole new box. He built pretty much just a disk box to attach to his Unraid, and it was really cool what he's doing. I Am Spartacus, he is taking Unraid and he is making that his main machine. So instead of having a NAS and a main computer, he pretty much built a very beefy. I mean, he took his gaming rig and essentially turned it into Unraid and then just runs a VM. Super smart. I mean, I think we've been having some fun debate in there about whether a lot of people should consider doing this. If you have a big beefy PC, having Unraid as your main operating system, and you have all the Dockers, can do it that way, and then you can spin up your VM whenever you need to and have full, I mean, he games on this thing. It's a beefy box. So kind of cool there. And then Jason Bryant brought up a really good conversation about getting into NAS. So he's never had a NAS before. And he wanted to know, okay, what are people doing out there for network storage? He has always been using the external, just USB drives. And we were, the whole kind of community was, okay, do you want to build your own? Do you want it out of the box? And he ended up going out of the box. He said, I don't really want to build, don't really want to tinker. I kind of just want something that, set it and forget it. And so he ended up going with Synology. So those are just kind of like 3 different types of conversations that have been going on out there. What I love about it though, and I think Schoonover said earlier in the chat, it's a very active chat for 62 people. You would think this was a Discord server of thousands of people because it's about the same level of interaction that you're getting from a huge Discord server. Everyone there is really engaged, a lot of good help. I've been throwing a bunch of questions out there. I asked about, and I'm going to totally forget who helped me out. But I actually threw out there, I have a Simply Safe doorbell. And I was asking hey, who wants to help me out with a 3D printer that can print an angle mount? I need it gives you an up or down angle, and I needed a left to right angle, which Simply Safe doesn't have. And someone found it right out there, found the plan. Someone's already put the 3D printer plans out there. So now I just need to head down to the Do Space here in Omaha and just print it out and see if that'll work. A lot of great conversation going on there. It's really fun too, just to hop out there, have a quick conversation with a lot of just tech-minded people. It's pretty much like our chat room. For those of you who don't get to come out and join us live, it's a great place to just go and interact with the fellow listeners.
I've gotten the feeling that those non-Facebook people who always resisted me on Facebook have come over here, and that's cool. That's great.
And this platform is really good for conversing. right? It's not just a post and then a bunch of comments. This is some back and forth. I think the way we've done channels has worked out really well because you can turn on and off notifications based on what channels you're interested in. So if you're really into Unraid, but you don't care about barbecue, turn off barbecue. Turn on Unraid.
Everybody cares about barbecue.
Everyone loves barbecue. That was a bad example. You don't care about home network, smart home. Maybe
some people don't care about breathing, but everybody cares
about barbecue. Right. So it's a great place. And if you don't know that, if you're new to Discord, you can, if you're getting annoyed by the notifications, you can go and turn those on and off on they're pretty granular on the settings there. So turn on and off as you like. You can get notified just when you're mentioned. You can get notified just on certain channels. And if you guys have other channels that you want us to put in there, if you guys want to have conversations around a certain topic, we can definitely create those channels. I think right now we've done a good job of creating a channel if we see that there's a lot of conversation around one topic. Yeah. We saw Unraid probably pretty much needed its own, and we were right. There's a ton of conversation on Unraid that just took off.
Yeah, those guys have conversed with me a little bit over at Unraid since that show, and have been a little surprised by the fervor.
Oh, really?
It was generated. Yeah.
Good.
So that's pretty cool. I just noticed too, we put an online deals channel in there, and Schoonover, what normally he would post to the Facebook group, he's now posting to Discord. So another good reason to come over and take a look at the online deals there in the group. No, super cool. Appreciate you guys out there doing that and participating in that. I've been monitoring it. I haven't had a ton of time necessarily to work on it. Ryan posted a 8 terabyte Western Digital Easy Store drive. I can't believe I bought it at $129 from Best Buy. Just couldn't resist.
You snagged it, didn't you?
I did.
You cannot resist an 8 terabyte drive. That is like Jim's kryptonite. If he sees a 8 terabyte for less than $150, he's gonna buy it.
Here's the box. I couldn't. Ken pinged me and he was like, "Hey, you gonna buy that thing?" I'm like, I don't think so. And then that afternoon, I was out at Best Buy. They had one left on the shelf, and I was like, "Okay, that's an omen." It's not.
You need it.
It's not really.
It's talking.
But I was like, "That's an omen. I just need to get another one." And so we'll talk. I've got a follow up to my Seagate story. We'll do in the crypto show. But yeah, I picked up one of those. A little bit influenced by Ryan, who dropped that in the chat room or in the Discord group. So
Jim needs to turn off notifications to online deals.
Just be careful. Schoonover has posted a couple.
They're really good.
1 terabyte SSDs right now are the sweet spot, right? $100.
That almost got me right there.
Yeah, I know. And you can get the NVMe. He put one in there that's 104. I ended up pulling the trigger on a Samsung. I paid, I think, $129 for the 1 terabyte. 840, I want to say, is what I got. That not the top of the line, but the kind of the one below it. I think I paid $120. He's got a Team Group 1 terabyte out there for $96. So, oh my gosh, watch your wallet. If you're going to join our deals group, watch your wallet. It's going to be cool. So, Mike, thanks for you're out there quite a bit, and I appreciate you engaging in the conversation. Jason, who you mentioned, Jason Bryant, in the chat room, he says, yeah, Heather had asked, hope the NAS setup is going well, and he said, yeah, I'm moving stuff to it, starting with iTunes just to get my feet wet. So Jason, welcome to the world of having some storage.
You're gonna love it. It's so addicting. Yeah, I started with a 2-bay QNAP and now full 15-bay Unraid. So it's a disease. A little bit.
Well, let's be honest. Nobody does it quite like Mike Uyghur does those kinds of things. I have this saying, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Mike, you follow me on that. Although you do it so much faster than anything I've ever seen. You're like,
just jump.
You're like, I think I'm gonna done. Like you don't.
I've got a little bit of tech ADD. I just kind of jump all over the place. No one knows what I'm gonna do. I get bored really quick and decide to switch things up.
Hey, let's switch gears a little bit. You threw in the news section, Apple has a credit card offering. Like seriously?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go.
Super cool. Okay, not super cool, but interesting, right? Mm-hmm. So, what's interesting to me is I work in the financial services industry, wealth advisors, right? That's my world now. Our CEO is very much tech focused, right? Wants to be on the bleeding edge. Our technology is the main reasons that advisors come in and use our platform, because the client experience technology wise is amazing, fantastic. And he has always said, he does a lot of speeches, and you can find him online, and he is very open about the fact that, he uses the Amazon example. But he says Apple as well. He's like, Amazon, Apple, they are coming to our space. And if you think they're not, you're wrong. And so we need to be innovative, because it is not long until you can go to Amazon and they can manage your money too, right? So this was really interesting to me, because it was literally a direct reflection of what I hear my CEO say all the time. Amazon coming out, or sorry, not Amazon, Apple coming out with their own credit card. Now, this is nothing new, right? A lot of companies out there, Amazon, you can go and get their debit card. You can go and get these cards from a lot of different companies. But the way Apple is doing it and the integration, it's not just your standard debit or credit card. And that's what I think is pretty cool about this. And they're definitely not the first, but this is going to be, I think, one of the biggest implementations of a card like this. So if you guys head out to the website, it's going to be linked there, apple.com/apple-card. You guys can check this out. It is essentially just like any other credit card. You sign up for it, right? There's an interest rate. There's nothing special. Like, all the terms are pretty much standard, except for the fact of kind of how it operates in the middle. So first of all, your physical card, the physical card you get is a really cool, like, titanium card, and it has no numbers on it. None. It just has your name. That's it. And it has the chip, and it has the mag strip on the back, and that is it. No numbers. So, like, it's really hard to steal a credit card number. Even if you got the credit card, you wouldn't have the number on it. So what this does is, it's a lot like, there are some websites that are doing this now. I think security.com, if you go there, you can plug in your current credit card and it'll do this for you. But essentially, Apple is generating a special credit card number for every single vendor that you go to. So if you are going to use this on Amazon, if you're going to use this at Target, it's going to generate a kind of like a one-time number for you to plug in and use. Makes it super simple especially for, think about those trials you always sign up for, like, okay, seven days free, and then it's $49 a month, and you always forget to cancel. Well, you can just use the number and then cancel that number right away, and you know that if it ever goes to try and charge that $50, it's not going to be able to, because that number's gone. So when it comes to security, it's going to be really nice as far as security goes. People, I think, are going to start, when it forces you to do that, there is no number on the card. You cannot go and just put a standard number, and you have to be secure about this. If you want a number, you have to open up the app on your phone, the wallet app, and get the number that you're going to plug in. Now, is that sometimes more of a pain? Okay, maybe, but is the security worth it? Yeah. But the main part that I really like about this is that all of the data that it gives to your wallet. Now, when I say data that it gives to your wallet, it's giving it to the wallet on your iPhone, which is not being communicated back to Apple. So Apple doesn't know what you're charging. Apple is all about security here. And if you guys have noticed, they've been setting this up, because all of their commercials lately, if you've seen a commercial for an iPhone, it's about how secure it is. It's about securing your data. And I think Apple realized that they no longer have, and some would argue they never did, have a competitive advantage when it comes to hardware, right? There's the Apple tax you pay when you buy the hardware. It's not any better than any other hardware. So they said, okay, what is our competitive advantage here? And I think when you compare them to a Google or an Amazon, Apple is not about your data. They don't care. That's not how they make money. So they can really play up the security factor and the information, and people will trust them a little bit more than they would other companies. So the data it gives you on your phone is really cool. If you are trying to save for something, if you are trying to cut down your spending in certain areas, you set that all in the app, and the app categorizes your spending, and it'll kind of help you towards those goals. It'll help you either pay off the card, it'll help you save for something and spend less on the food category. If you guys have ever used Mint or any of these apps that pull in your transactions and categorize them, it's exactly the same. So like I said, it's nothing new, nothing innovative, but the entire ecosystem that it puts you into, if you have an iPhone and if you want to use this card for all your transactions, really could help you on your track to kind of, fulfilling your financial goals. Now, there's always the pessimist view on all of this, right? Like, oh, it's just like everything else. They're a credit card. They want their fees. They want you to spend money. They don't really want you to save. They don't really want you to not spend. Okay, possibly. But the tools they give you, if you use them correctly and if you're disciplined, could really help you out. And it's really cool. So I'm really excited. I am personally going to use the card. I think it'll be a great tool to have all that data in my phone and be able to track all of that sort of spending. And then it works really well with Apple Pay too. So Apple Pay is the main way they want you to use the card. They really don't want you to be swiping that card. They want Apple Pay to be the main source. And I think there is actually, you get more reward points if you scan through Apple Pay. So if you use Apple Pay, you might get 2% cash back. Whereas if you just swipe the card, you get 1%. So there's like some incentives there, obviously, because then they're not running through, MasterCard, who actually has the card. So I think they teamed up with, I'm going to get it wrong. I need to look up who they teamed up with for this card. And someone maybe in the chat room can help me out with it. I'm drawing a blank on who they teamed up with. But they teamed up with one of the big banks because you need to. Apple can't be the bank. They need to team up with a bank. But it's a very interesting concept. There's another few little perks here. They're not going to hike up your rate if you miss a payment. You will have a late fee. Or no, you won't have a late fee. It'll just obviously it'll just accumulate still with interest, but there's no penalty for missing a payment. So kind of interesting there. And when you get your rate, whatever your interest rate is, it is going to be at the bottom. So all these credit card companies, when they find out your credit score is 750, okay, here's the range of what they're going to give you for your interest. And Apple says that they're going to go at the bottom of that. So you can trust that you're going to get probably the best rate compared to all the other cards you can get. Yet to be seen if that's true or not. We'll have to see. Obviously, these are not out yet. They come out this summer, so people have not started applying. So once people start applying, we'll start to see, if the proof's in the pudding and if they're actually telling the truth on this. If it is one of the best rates you can get. Goldman Sachs, thank you, Heather. So it's Goldman Sachs. They teamed up with Goldman Sachs to do the card. I'm excited about it. You guys have seen me over the past 2 years get really critical of Apple, and on some of their recent releases, I've still been a little critical on them, but I really like the card. They had a lot of other things that they released actually in this announcement that I'm not even going to talk about because I don't think they're that cool. Apple TV Plus, I don't think that's great. Newsstand, not that excited about it. Apple Card, all right, they got my attention here. So we will see how it turns out, but I think it could be very interesting. And I think for the right person, for us, Hannah and I, we obviously have our bank. And then we like the American Express card. It's the charge card. It's the one you have to pay off every month, right? Keeps us honest. Doesn't really allow us to carry over a balance. But we always struggle to get the data and be able to see what we're spending money on because American Express doesn't pull into Mint, which doesn't pull into this. We try and use budget apps that don't all. American Express doesn't really like their data going anywhere, and we don't really want it going anywhere. So if we could have one card that we could use that would have all of that in there and be accessible on our phones, it would be pretty nice. So I'm excited. We will see how this goes. Like I said, they're releasing it in the summer. And so you can sign up now to get the latest information on it. So if you plug in your email address, you'll get notified when they are ready to take applications, and it'll be out this summer.
Pretty interesting. They say, other credit cards have fees. Apple Card doesn't. No annual fees, no cash advance fees, no international fees, no over the limit or return payment fees. And best of all, no hidden fees, which means your balance won't catch you by surprise. They're kind of making a run at a no nonsense credit card. And that's not necessarily new. There's been some competition in the space.
Yeah.
There's not very many credit cards left really in the market, right? We think of Chase and Bank of America, and you mentioned Discover is still out there, and you mentioned American Express. There's a few others, but for the most part, they consolidated back in the early 2000s. They all consolidated, went high fees, and then they began to compete to bring them down. Of course, making a late payment is what they slam you on these days. Many of them are competing on the international fees. There are special credit cards where if you're gonna charge in other countries, that's waived. So there's been some competition there. I kind of like this. They're really kind of making a no nonsense approach to it. One of the questions I would have, and I don't even so I use a Chase card for my daily transactions, and they do all that fancy exporting stuff. That's actually not as attractive to me, Mike, as being able to do automatic payments. So I just want that thing to automatically pay every single month the amount that's due. And Bank of America won't do that. And some of the other cards I've had won't do it. Chase will. You can go in there and do it yourself, but I want it to pay automatically every time the amount that my card is due. They don't want to do that because they want you to carry some interest, right? That's kind of why they do it. Chase is kind of taking an approach similar to what Apple is doing here, is they're really trying to help their customers in some ways rather than trying to just nickel and dime them. on that. We have our car financed through Chase as well, which means I go to one site to get both the loan and they also have got a great payment system. So it may take something for me. I feel like I have a pretty good card. I don't pay anything. I never go international, but I'm intrigued by this. Although I do find, and when I was younger, I would spend a ton of time on the analytics. Like I wanted all the budget stuff. Lately, not so much. I kind of want to, like, I know I've got the money. Our spending's kind of under control. We kind of know what we can and can't spend. We don't need to budget down to the penny. I get a little frustrated with that, with having all that data, because I want to take it, once I have it, then I want to take it down to the nth degree.
Yeah.
And then I like, God, is that worth it? Is it worth it to balance to the penny on these things all the time? For some people, and when I was younger, it was. When we were younger and we were poor, it was super important. I could account for every dime. Right?
Yeah. Well, and exactly. So I think it's a stage of life thing, right? Like that's a stage Hannah and I are in now where it's, every penny has to be accounted for. We've got, you got childcare costs, you've got student loans, you've got car, you've got all these things that we're still relatively new to this world of having all of these expenses all at once. So being able to track that, we've got to get 5-10 years under our belt of having the system down, knowing what we can and can't spend on. So for us, it's a great idea. And really what gets me on this is the security of the card. That I really like. Schlumpy put a great comment in the chat that I forgot about, where each transaction, you can see the exact name of the merchant and it'll show you a map of where they're at. Yeah. So if that swipes and it's not you cancel that one individual number. You don't have to cancel your entire card. You don't have to get a whole new card because each thing used a new number. And especially if you're using Apple Pay, that's just easy. They don't even have your number. And then in the off chance you plug it into an online site that gets compromised, they got one number that's no good anymore. You're fine. You're totally covered.
I got to catch on to Apple Pay. It has, like, for all these other methods of payment, I have caught on very easily. And it's just not natural and intuitive to me to pull out my phone to pay for something. And I know for some that is. I am so wallet, pull out the card.
And you even have your watch, so you really need to get used to on the watch. It's a double tap. It's on your wrist. Double tap that bar and just lay it down. It took me a while too, Jim, to get used to it. I kept even like going for my wallet. I'm like, no, let's just get used to it. And now it's my watch every time. You set your default card, put it on your Chase card, double tap, and just lay it down. Because I have found that there are very few places now that don't take it.
I was going to ask it. Is it most places here in Omaha for you now?
Yes, it's most places. The only thing that annoys me is the credit card, the gas pump. You still have to pull out your card and swipe it. If you go inside, you could do it, but on the outside, no. But yeah, most places, even vending machines now, Jim, if they have that tap, I mean, you can just put your watch up there and get yourself a soda, which is kind of dangerous, but also awesome at the same time. So, like our vending machine downstairs in our basement, at work.
I think I did Apple Pay at a vending machine at the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. Last time I was there, I needed something, and it had Apple Pay, and I'm like, okay, I need to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
And I just need to do more of it. So it is, I will probably go with you on this. So as we think about, and what I would do is I would apply for the card and I would use it first, just me, before we try and kind of make it a thing. Sarah's also on Android. So
she wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
I think you would pretty much need your phone.
Yeah.
Unless you were just swiping it, but
well,
we'll have to see how that works. Actually, I don't know how that works.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be worth it to open it, try it. It's one of those, it's novel enough to just give it a try. And if there's no fees, if there's no annual fees, if they're not feeing you to death, that's some of these good cards have these, well, okay, we're going to give you all these things. And then there's $75 a year. And so you start thinking, well, God, I don't want that card just to sit there if I'm going to pay those kinds of fees. So I do think we are maybe coming to that tipping point with financial services where the security pieces, with our phones, with our credit cards, people are getting so sick of, and credit cards in the United States have taken it on the chin. They're the ones who absorb most of the costs of fraud here. Right. Not that way in every country, but here in the United States, for sure, the credit card companies take that. So of course, Apple's got $450 billion in the bank or whatever. So I don't think they're really too worried about it. They could probably operate this thing at a loss for a couple years before they really get going. So it says on the site this summer. Is that like June or July, or do we know?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going off air power, this could be in 3 years and then they cancel the project. So that was the other thing that went official. If you want some more news, Apple announced 2 years ago this AirPower mat. It was going to be their wireless mat that you could throw down your iPhone, your earphones, and throw them down anywhere. They said coming next year. That year came and went. Dead silence. Apple's not mentioning it. They finally, so what was it? 2 years later, said, okay, guys, it's official. This is not coming out. We're into problems. We're not doing it. And it was great.
It happens, right? It happens.
Oh, it happens. Totally happens. Just it hadn't happened to Apple before. Well, recent Apple.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, it happens. All right. Well, we'll keep up on it. That's definitely something that's interesting to me. And I think from an average guy tech standpoint, a really doable project.
Oh, totally.
For most people. If you're in the Android ecosystem, probably not. But for those of you who are on iPhone and want to give it a try, it shouldn't cost any more or cost you anything to get on it, and maybe something worth a try. Some really interesting technology as far as that comes. Mike, you got another item you want to show there in your hands. I'm a little skeptical on this one. So show me what you got there.
Okay, so this is a non-techie thing, but I hope some of you guys come to my rescue and think this is pretty cool. So I went down. We've always talked about our YouTube rabbit holes, Jim. What you two and I like. You're really into the space stuff. Anything space catches your eye.
Yeah.
I somehow stumbled across this kind of community of people doing EDC. Their everyday carry, things that they carry with them all the time. You could almost relate it a little bit to preppers, right? They want to be prepped for every single situation. So what do you have on you at all times? And then what's the best gear? What's the best way to carry it? And I have just had a total blast with this because this is stuff that I do usually have in my pockets. So I had some of it in my pockets all the time, but not all of it. So what I have done actually, what brought this all together for me was this pouch. So I know a lot of you guys out there are going to make fun of me for this. This is a leather pocket protector. Is essentially what it is. It's like an organizational pouch. So it is the size. I mean, it's pretty big, right? Like that's my hand. So it's big. So this goes in my back jean pocket. And what this allows me to do is carry all of my EDC stuff in it. And it doesn't bulge my pocket out. It all stays one, like, and when I sit on it, it's super comfortable because it's leather. So I'll show you guys what I keep in here. So first of all, clipped on the edge here is a pocket knife, right? Like everyone's got to have a pocket knife.
Take it out before you go to the airport.
Yes, I'm gonna forget at some point. I'm gonna end up losing this knife. So you got your pocket knife, and then another important. So these are the things that if you watch EDC videos, so you guys could. I mean, there's a YouTube rabbit hole, guys. I'm warning you. If you don't Google it, if you don't want to spend hours watching this. So then everyone's got a pocket knife. Everyone has a flashlight. So this is actually a 1,000 lumen flashlight. This thing is insanely bright. But I love it. Super small, super compact. I was actually carrying this before I got into EDC. I had my flashlight with me in all times in my back pocket.
Don't you have a phone that's got a flashlight on it?
But once you use a bright flashlight, Jim, you will not go back. It is, and then the strobe feature, right, is just, it's that much better. So
here's hold on. I've got one too.
Oh, so you got one too.
I have a Windows 10. Yeah, mine's a Windows 10 flashlight. We have one of those super bright ones like you have there. This is pretty basic, right? Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
You're sending me coded messages.
Coded strobe messages, right?
Yep, gotta have a flashlight. That one I get. Although I it's funny, I'll go for that flashlight before I go for my phone's flashlight. And the phone's sitting right there. The flashlight on this phone is so good.
It's good, but it's not it's not
necessarily handy either. This is a pretty big form.
So I can whip this. So
you can't put it oftentimes I end up doing this biting the end because I'm working on something, and you can't do that with your phone.
And mine has the reverse clip on it, so you can just, if you're wearing a hat, which I'm oftentimes on the weekends wearing a hat, just clip it to the bill of your hat, which is good because usually it's when I'm going out in the garage and I'm looking for something, and so I'll clip it to my hat so I can use my hands to dig through the garage and find something, or the basement, wherever I'm at. So there were the ones with the reverse clip. That's what you should look for. So flashlight, pocket knife, and then a little moleskin notebook. So in case you need to write stuff down. Again, you got the phone with notes, but you'd be surprised once you start carrying around a little notebook, and these have pages that can tear out. Someone wants to know an email address, or someone's like, hey, what server is that on? Write down the server path for me. I'll just write it down real quick and tear it out and give it to them. So piece of paper. And then, of course, if you have that, you need a pen. So pick out your favorite pen, put it in there, right? And then finally, I have, and this is actually, I was trying to find my favorite one. I have a few of these, and this is actually made for a bike. So if you're a biker, like a pedal bike, this is a multi-tool for a bike.
Holy crap. You have that thing in your back pocket all the time?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but that's what I'm saying. So this leather organizer, the way it works and the way it disperses all that weight, I don't even feel it in my back pocket. I can sit on this thing all day and I don't feel it because it's that soft leather and it molds right to my body and right to all this stuff. And then the great part about it too is all of these, like the clips and everything, don't wear a hole in my pocket. The trouble I ran into previously is those clips can really wear a hole in your jeans pocket. So it really does save you. But yeah, so this thing has all of the Allen wrenches. I can remove a bike tire. I don't need to ever because I don't ride bikes, but that's part of it. But I got it. It's got screwdrivers. It's got everything. Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking all of this stuff in my hands that I used to have in all these different pockets and stuff that's very useful. And what I love about this, you load it up, you stick it in your back pocket, you get home to change, you pull this whole thing just out of your back pocket and lay it on your nightstand. You don't have to fiddle with all this every morning and get it in your pockets, and you're not fumbling with things. You put it all in there, you stick it in your pocket, you pull it out at the end of the day, and you're good to go, and you got it all with you. So yeah, something, it's on the nerdy side, right? It's a pocket protector, Jim. So I thought, I can talk about it on a tech show.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure this was all the rage back in the day.
No, it's super. I don't know if what you say rage back in the day. What day was that ever a rage? Was there
pocket protectors?
Yeah. Well, okay.
Like
the plastic ones.
Plastic ones, right? And they've really evolved since then to be actually really. I mean, this thing is really heavy duty. This is nice leather. It's really soft. Yeah. I'll probably still have to oil this up and clean it every once in a while. And
what'd you pay? What's the retail on that?
Only $19.
Okay.
So on Amazon. And I was worried it was gonna be faux leather. It's not. It's real leather.
Nice.
But so the really cool thing about EDC though, real quick, is that you're just laughing. You're just like, okay, he can go on this.
No other Jim said nice purse.
it kind of looks like a purse. Yeah. But you know what? It's
nothing wrong with a purse, by the way. If you want to have a purse, that's fine. We no judgment here.
In my back pocket, there is like a centimeter of leather that shows. Yeah. So you don't even notice it's back there. There's just a little bit. So the cool part about watching these EDC videos, Jim, is that everyone's is so unique. Depending on what they do in their day-to-day, they have different stuff in their EDC. So people make these videos on YouTube showing what they carry with them every day. Mm-hmm. And if they're a programmer, sometimes they have a little guide to shortcuts of something, right? Or they'll have all these things that they carry with them that are unique. It's just really interesting to see what someone would carry. So it took me a while to figure out, what am I actually going to use every day? Mm-hmm. And these are items that most days I will use maybe once, with the exception, this is a tool. A multi-tool is just something you'll only need once in a while, but when you have it, you'll be really glad you did, kind of thing.
I have a Craftsman. I was going to get it, and it's just too far away at this point. But I have a Craftsman multi-tool that folds out for a pair of pliers. It's got a knife and it's got a little saw kind of thing in it. That is probably, if I were going to do that and keep it with me, I would. I hate things in my pocket. For the longest time, I didn't even carry a wallet. Like I carried a. When you buy a new wallet and you get that flap thing that you're supposed to put your driver's license in and then something, right? It's a little flap thing. For a couple of years, maybe 5, that was my wallet. Just that thing.
Just the flap.
I put my driver's license in it and 1 credit card. And that was it. That's all I wanted. And I'd have receipts in there. And I tried for, 3-4 years. I tried just to have that thing. That's all I wanted to have. I'd put it in my pocket. That's all. I hate things in my pocket. With that, something like that, like you're saying, it's comfortable. You may not notice. Oh,
yep.
Okay.
Because I had stopped carrying everything else. I carry my flashlight only. And with this, I don't feel it. It slides right in the back pocket and it's like, it's not even there. Yeah. I would not carry all this stuff loose. That would drive me absolutely insane.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. My number 2 son used to carry about 6 pens in his front pocket all the time loose. And he'd come in and he'd just start emptying his pockets. And I swear it was like an angry clown, and stuff was just coming out. Like things just kept coming out of his pocket. Yeah. I'm like, where are you storing all that stuff? And God, don't ever sit down. Don't ever pinch. It could be dangerous, right?
Yeah. So you probably used it. You would love a wallet like this. This is also, I went minimalist wallet. This is great. This holds a bunch of cards, has the driver's license on one side, and works really well. So that's in my other pocket.
Do you think you can get concerned with protecting the RF? They have those RF blockers, and Sarah has got all her credit cards. She's ordered some of those sleeves.
Yeah.
And she's got all her credit cards in those protectors, and I kind of laugh at her. My cards are actually so bad. Like it's in a wallet in my pocket, and they're old, and they've been bent because the wallet bends, and then eventually they crack, right? And they go with chip cards. But are you worried about that at all?
I should be. Honestly, only one of my cards has RFID anyway. And it's my American Express, which I trust them. They've been so good. I have had fraud on that card before. They catch it before I even notice it. And even if they didn't, they take care of it. I'm not as worried about it. You know, if they start putting RFID in our driver's licenses or things like that, I might be more apt to be concerned about it. But like I said, I have one card and I'm not really concerned if something did happen.
I've seen those wallets on Facebook where it's a hard shell and then it kind of slides up and your cards are in there and then it's protected on either side, or they have a protective and a non-protective section. The non-section is for folks who want to put bus cards or train cards or things where you want that right ID to be able to buzz into buildings. And then the blocked side is for your credit cards and stuff. I don't know, $35. I almost pulled the trigger because my cards get beat up so bad. I almost pulled the trigger on those protective wallets, but they're like, it's like having a tin can.
I was just going to say they're so rigid. I tried one of the, because there's a lot of minimalist wallets there. I ended up needing to go back to some sort of leather one or faux leather, whatever it is, because I couldn't stand the rigidity, and it wears a hole in your pants. Those hard ones, when you start to sit, it'll start to wear. I mean, you'll notice on your pocket.
It was like in the 80s when the Skull can was
exactly. It imprints, right? It's totally the same thing. This one actually, either it's this one, they have a model where this inside slot is RFID. I don't even know. It's protected, right? Sorry, RFID protection. Yeah.
And it varies by card, right? Not all cards need that.
No, it's just the tap to pay cards.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Joe mentions that in the chat room. Yeah, I think I threw this out on Facebook. I don't know, a couple months ago. I was interested in wallet tech. Like, okay, where are we at with wallets? One, I would like to protect my cards. I'm a little embarrassed. I don't know why but I'm a little embarrassed when I pull my card out and it's just beat. Like it's just dirty. You know, I'll have my wallet on me all the time. Dirt and sand gets in your pockets. It just does, right? And then it gets in your wallet, and then it just grinds like sandpaper in your wallet, and then it just destroys your cards. So the part of my cards that are exposed in my wallet are just wrecked, and it's like I'd like a little better. I use my Chase card so much that the card is actually peeling apart in sections, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to order another card from Chase here coming up. So I was looking for a little bit of a better protection. I wouldn't be totally excited about your pocket device there, or even the wallet you have would suffer a similar fate with getting dust and dirt inside your wallet. I have been thinking about the protection of it. I don't know if you've got some ideas on this. Love to hear about them. Jump into our Discord group, theaverageguy.tv/Discord. And let's go into the let's just go into the general section for now. If we get a lot of conversation around it, maybe we'll create a group for it.
Create an EDC channel.
Oh yeah. So if you're pro EDC, is this right? Is this something?
Yeah, Jim, I'll admit I'm even part of an EDC Discord. And you know what, though? You laugh. There are 75,000 members in this EDC Discord.
Freaking millennials.
It's old guys like you. They love it. No, I didn't mean that. Not that you're old. I'm just saying.
I'm pretty old. It's okay.
It's a bunch of. It's multi-generational, Jim. Everyone
just like this show.
Who doesn't love leather in their pocket? I mean, this is just. It's manly. It's awesome.
I no, right on. I'm with it. Mark, thanks for joining us tonight.
My dad called me my grandpa, though. He's like, "All right, Andy." Apparently my grandpa used to have like literally the same sort of thing, and he would have pliers and stuff back, because that's what it's meant for. This is meant for if you're on a work site and you need stuff that's not going to poke a hole through your pocket,
right? Or your pants, right?
Yeah.
It's I could just hear, and maybe I could just hear your dad say this. Maybe this is a thing that skips generations too, where like
it comes back,
like my generation, I'm your dad's generation, right?
Yep.
So it skips us, but it hits you guys because there's some practicalness to it, and your dad didn't do it, so you think it's like a new thing.
Yeah, like, it's not like that nerdy thing your dad did, right? Because they didn't do it. You're like, oh yeah, that's been around for forever.
Might be something that skips.
It's like my generation going back and plugging in an antenna to our TV and be like, do you guys know there's free TV that comes over the airwaves? It's insane. They give it away for free. It's so cool.
Oh, that is so great. That is so great. Do you, Mike? Mike, you mentioned, do you budget? We've got a good budget app that you were talking about in the reviews. Have you been moving around budget apps? It seems like you've been trying to figure out some ways you've landed on this one. Talk a little bit about it real quick.
Yeah. Just real quick. Hannah and I have been trying a bunch of different budget apps. We never really found one that worked the way we wanted it to. We went through Dave Ramsey's course when we got married. That's kind of our pre-marriage. Yeah. Financial Peace. We went through Financial Peace, and it was a great course. We all know Dave. We all know his views. You don't have to agree with him on everything, but he does have some pretty good things, especially for a young married couple, to make sure you don't get in trouble. And the one thing we really liked from his system, that we were actually one of the few couples in our group that actually liked it, was the envelope system, which is the envelope system. If you don't know, is every time you get your paycheck, you go and take it out in cash, and you literally have a physical envelope for each category in your budget. Groceries has an envelope. Entertainment has an envelope. Utilities has an envelope, and you're putting these cash in the envelopes. And then once you've used the cash in that envelope, there's no more. So once you've gone through your entertainment envelope, sorry, like that's done for the month. And stuff like that. So, but that obviously is not practical anymore with how the world works. You can't just go take cash out, right? Everything we pay for, at least the way Hannah and I do it, is with our card. And so that just didn't work. So we wanted an app that really did the envelope system really well. And there are a few out there that do it okay. Dave Ramsey actually has his own app. But I'll let you know, if you go against him in any way, if you use a credit card because he says don't, it doesn't work with the app, because it doesn't allow that sort of functionality as far as I'm trying to pay down a credit card or I have this. So goodbudget.com is, if you want the envelope system in digital form and you want it on your phones synced across, because these were all the requirements we had. Envelope system, Hannah and I's phones needed to sync because I need her and I's to be on the same page, and have a web portal for when we don't have our phones with us. And Good Budget just does it all. It's super, super convenient. The one thing it doesn't do, it will not, and maybe it'll do it with a debit card, but I don't think so. It doesn't automatically pull transactions in. So you have to go in. That was the only downside, but we are used to that with American Express, because American Express, like I said, doesn't feed to a lot of these systems that we've always tried in the past. So yeah, if you're looking for a good envelope style online app, goodbudget.com is the way to go.
That's super cool. I think this is an important thing to do, to just depend on your spending. I do think, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think for those of us who grew up in the 80s and experienced the credit card craze of the 90s, so we were all adults, we were all your age during this, and the credit card spending was just horrendous. I mean, there were people spending student loan size debts in just buying stuff, right? And it was really common to hear stories of people saying, yeah, I racked up $60 or $70 or $80,000 in credit card debt, right? Unsecure, high interest rates. I mean, at least the student loan is at 7% and a little forbearance, and they kind of work with you, right? The credit card companies, this was high fees, high interest rates. People were just spending. I think in a reaction to that crazy spending we had in the 90s, in the correction of the 2000s, as the stock market, big bubble in 2000, 2001, it bursts. We spend a little bit of time correcting that. I do feel like I don't hear as many stories anymore. Now, I could be in my own bubble, but I'm just, Mike, with your age group, your friends, do you hear stories of people that are just to me, they have so much school debt that they're like, I'm not taking on credit card debt. So maybe that stops them from doing that.
You hit the nail on the head. My generation is so crippled by student loan debt. I think that is the craze that my generation went through. Maybe that was like the credit card phase when you guys went through that, which is every kid now, you can sign on the dotted line for $200,000 to $300,000 worth of loans in a few years. And that loan's just with you. So I think kids are graduating and seeing that and feeling that. And then it kind of helps them not to, yes, do we still have credit card debt? For sure. Right. Like everyone does. But I don't think it's as bad, because I think we're feeling the hurt on the student loans.
Okay. Well, that kind of makes sense. It's been a while. It's been a long time since I've had any credit card debt. We worked really hard early when we were young. I had it for sure, and we used another budgeting guru, Larry Burkett, and he very similar for Dave Ramsey, just a little before Dave, and we did the envelope system. We got out of debt when I was in the military. I'd gotten in a bunch of debt, and we got out of it by the time I got out of the military. We moved here. that allowed us to kind of do some things here, being debt free, getting here. We had to take on some debt, of course, to buy a house and do some other things. That really gave us a whole bunch of options when we got down to that, when we got to that point. So super cool. During college and after college, we took on some debt. I haven't taken on any credit card debt in a long time, but that doesn't mean it's not a problem. And I used to budget. I used Microsoft Money for the longest time. They deprecated that, and that no longer exists. You have to use QuickBooks or something along. And I'm just not as committed anymore to the full budget, Mike. I've actually created my own system in Excel where I take my credit card. My credit card is one expense. So every month we pay it off. So regardless of what we spend, it's one expense. So that line item goes in the credit card. And then all the reoccurring gas, electric, insurance, the car payments, those kinds of things, those become other line items. So I maybe have 30 items that I just copy and paste from one month to the next. I know these things are coming up, and it has a running total down the side. And I always keep about 2 months out to kind of, so I call it the cash flow budget, which is how is my cash flow for the next 2 months? Like that's all I'm really worried about. And if it's starting to look tight, we can make some changes very, very quickly to just kind of, okay, next couple of months looks pretty tight. Let's tighten up on a few things. It's just the two of us, right? I don't have kids. I'm spending beer money at this point, for God's sake. So we don't have kids where we're buying clothes or we have school expenses or we have some of those kinds of things. And it has so stressed me out less doing that method where I've got this 2-month projection, and has been very, very successful. And it's just an Excel spreadsheet. And so, I always tell people, find the system that works for you. We budgeted to the penny for a lot of years because we had to. We didn't budget for 5 years because I hated the budget. Like I hated doing it so much. I rebelled. I gave it to Sarah. She hated it. We just decided we weren't going to do it. And you can't do that forever. That doesn't work. The only thing that saved us in those years when we weren't budgeting is all the automatic payments, right? So everything we'd set up in the accounts to automatically pay everything. So the check hits, everything gets automatically paid, including savings, right? So we'd have savings come out, 401k come out, all those things happen automatically. And whatever was left could be spent. And it's not a great way to live life, but we did that for a while until I did this kind of cash flow method. Worked out really, really well. So Mike, this goodbudget.com is a way, if you're struggling with it, use some technology in your favor, right?
Definitely.
Get this stuff to work for you.
And that was it for me, Jim, is, we're in a time where we need to just lock down, right? Like these kids, their daycare is extremely expensive. And that was a recent expense that hit. We were living pretty good before that. Like before these kids, I was kind of doing the same thing. I knew we were going to be fine. And so when our budget drastically changed a few months ago, it stresses me out to not know. I can't just be willy-nilly and it stresses me out to a max. Once I see it in a plan, I could even see that we're way behind on paper. And that is better for me than thinking I'm ahead and just not knowing. Because if I see it on paper and we have a plan, we're good. I'm not stressed. We have a plan. We know where the money is going. So it was something. Hannah is the opposite. Hannah doesn't want to. She trusts that I'm taking care of it. I mean, she is actually the fiscally responsible one. I am not. So maybe that's why I need the plan and she doesn't, because she's just a natural saver. She doesn't spend any money. So for me, it's beneficial. So yeah, if you're struggling with it, and even if you're not, if you are trying to save up for something, you're not even paying off debt, you're good. Use it, plug it in. See, I bet you'll be really surprised how fast you can save. Hannah and I were shocked at the amount that these little things add up. Mm-hmm. I mean, things that are only $2, but you're doing them every day or you're doing them every other day, and how fast that adds up. Or all the things, you guys would be surprised how many subscriptions you have that you don't know about when you go and check through your credit card. Like, oh, I'm still paying $10 a month for the Wall Street Journal. I haven't even opened that online subscription for forever. Things like that. Yeah,
that's the ones that get you. It's the online ones where you don't use them. I'm paying $5 a month for Plex, and I don't have a Plex server running at the moment. I shut it down. I'm like, I'm going to try YouTube TV. I'll shut off that Plex thing. And then I kept thinking, well, maybe I'll go back to Plex. So I'll just leave it. It's only $5. Well, it's been 5 times 6 months now, and I haven't used Plex. And
yeah,
it's just $5, but that stuff adds up, right?
That's one where I just need to buy the lifetime pass. I've been paying $5 a month for 5 years. I should have just bought the
$160 or something.
Yeah, for a lifetime pass. Yeah.
I wish I would have bought it when it was $50 back 4 or 5 years ago.
No
There's
kidding.
many who listen to this program who bought the lifetime. It's a risk when you buy it. It's a little bit cheaper. You don't know if it's going to last or if it's going to stay around, but Yeah, there's a lot of great technologies to help you financially. That is one of those kinds of things that I have a real soft spot in my heart for people and their struggles with finances. It's not easy. And for the longest time, we gave any new couple that got married, we gave them Larry Burkett's book, The Complete Financial Guide for Young Couples. It was written 30 years ago, 35 years ago, still as good today as it was then. And I think, like you're saying, Mike, you might need to be a little more hypersensitive. The younger you are, the less money you're making. You got to be more careful with it. As you get older, kids go away, expenses get a little bit less. Although, if you're young and you're not saving for retirement, and then you get older and you have all that money and you're not saving for retirement, you have a problem. Yeah. And so we were poor for a lot of years, and I'm playing catch up in our retirement stuff. And so I'm cramming just as much money. I meet with my financial planner twice a year. And I say, am I doing enough? Am I putting enough away? Are we on track? Are we on plan? Do I need to put more in? And I'm to that point where I can, I can kind of ramp that up by $100 or $200 a month if I need to kind of make that happen. Yeah. So, smart. No, good way to do it. So thanks for bringing that up real quick as we kind of bring this in for a close. Yeah. You sold some servers?
I sold all my servers, Jim. All of them. No, except for Unraid. I know. This is so funny because we were just talking about Untangle. Well, the box that I ran Untangle on, I sold. So I am no longer using Untangle. I plan on bringing Untangle back by I'm going to get a box that's way cheaper on power than what I was running. But I had a Dell R210 and I had a Dell R710. The Dell R710 was a very easy decision. That had been, it only took 2.5-inch drives. Right. So loading that up, it was not going to be a storage server, but it was still a great server. I'm like, I need to sell this thing because it's been off. I need to sell it before it's completely outdated. But we've talked about the luck of things, and they're really in demand right now. That's also what I saw was these servers for some reason are in demand. So I was able to sell both of them for more than I bought them for 2 years ago. So that was nice. I don't know why they're in demand right now, but people are loving these Dell R710s and these Dell R210s. Sold the Dell R710 locally. That helped a lot because I did not pay eBay fees. I did not pay shipping fees, just Facebook Marketplace. Some guy was like full price. Didn't even ask about a different price. Just paid full price. Nicest guy ever. Met up with him. He was super excited about it. Yeah. And then sold the R210 as well. So that means since I got rid of Untangle, I moved over to a Unify USG, which I didn't really realize, even though it's a lower power server, that Dell R210 was kind of idiotic for me to run that as my router full time with Untangle, just because of the power draw. This USG has been great. So I've been playing around. I'll talk to you guys more about now I'm in a full Unify environment. I have their USG as my router and firewall, and I also have their access points. Teaser though, it's freaking awesome when you are pure Unify. If you live in the Unify ecosystem, it's really nice. The controller works well. Their upgrades of the controller lately have actually finally brought some of the features that people have been complaining about for a long time. People were saying that for Unify USGs for the router, you actually needed to get in and do some command line and program it that way. Really not the case anymore unless you're doing some very advanced things. But I run VLANs, I have firewall rules, I have all of that, and it's all done in the controller. So pretty exciting.
Cool.
But again, like you said, I just decided I was going to sell them. It was, I know. I was on the show 3 weeks ago.
Great luck when you do that. Like, I just can't believe how lucky you are when you sell these things.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think, but that led into it a little bit. I did my research on what are these going for, and I saw that for some reason there was a demand for these right now. I'm like, well, if I'm going to sell, might as well sell now at an upturn in the market and make some money on these things.
Right. No, for sure. Well, pretty good stories. Thanks for coming on and bringing all that stuff this week. A couple reminders. Next week, Tony Rayner joins us. We're having Patrick Stewart, not Captain Picard, but Patrick Stewart from Habitat is how it's pronounced. HUBITAT, Habitat.com. They're a home automation company, and Tony asked if they would come on, and he's going to join us, and they will join us as well. So that's coming up here on the 18th. If you don't normally join us live, you might want to do that Thursday the 18th at 8 p.m. Central. Join us. Mike and I are back for the next 2 weeks. Actually, May 2nd is our 400th show.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Yeah, 400. So Christian's coming back. Zadler's coming back. You'll be here, and I hope. And we'll do. What do you think? Are you May
No,
2nd?
I'm here. That the one May 9th is actually. I'm not here on May 9th.
Oh, that's okay. Because May 9th we have Micah coming back, and this girl has been crushing some headphones. Like she has been trying to figure out. She's super busy in her office, and she's been doing the Peloton bike, and so she's been trying out all this headphone gear, like the Bose in-ear stuff. I mean, she's been working on some office stuff. She's doing a lot of remote working where she's on the phone all day, and so she's been trying out some Jabra stuff. So
Awesome.
she's going to come talk a little bit about that. That's coming up after the big 400 show.
I'm excited for 400. May 2nd.
May 2nd is awesome. Is 400. That's the weekend of Star Wars Day with May 4th, right?
Oh, yeah. May the 4th be with you.
Star Wars Day. So we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. So we've got some $398 next week with Patrick Stewart, and then we have $399 you and me. 400 we'll have the whole party back. This would be, if you're not normally a live listener, the next couple weeks might be a great week to just join us live. So if you can do it, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern. Translate that into whatever. We don't have daylight savings time for a while. I think the whole world has changed now. So get out there, join us. We'd love to have you get out here and do that. We got a lot of great stuff coming up and love to have you. A couple reminders then before we go. One, I want to thank those Patreon subscribers again for doing what they do to help us out. You can do that as well if you want to jump in there. theaverageguy.tv/Patreon will get you done there as well. We mentioned the Discord group, theaverageguy.tv/Discord. Get you there. If you want to send me an email, just give us some feedback. Appreciate that. Many of you have done that. Joe sent me a little note this week about I was complaining 2 weeks ago about Windows Media Center going away, and he was kind enough to say, hey, I might have some stuff that will help you. And Joe, I appreciate that. If you want to contact us in some way, or you got some kind of conversation, you want to say how good the show is. If you don't like it, I'm not as interested in hearing that. But if you want to send me an email, Jim, just come on. Nobody wants to get bad email, right. Mike?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, Jim at theaverageguy.tv is the way to do it. At Jay Collison on Twitter is the way to get that done. If we want to remind you that the AverageGuy.tv platform, both web and media hosting, powered by Maple Grove Partners. So get securable. Is that a new thing? Get a high-speed, secure. I've only said this like 8,000 times. Get secure, reliable, high-speed hosting. There you go. From people that you know and you trust. For more information, visit Maple Grove Partners. Isn't that funny how there's just some moments in life where it's your own children's name and you can't remember it?
For me, it was when I was a kid. I was petrified. I went to a Catholic high school to say the Hail Mary. You could say a Hail Mary. It's one of those, if you're a Catholic, like you have memorized the Hail Mary, you get up to say that in front of people and all of a sudden you just blank on it. And it's real embarrassing. I had the same. That's it brings back like terror moments of having to get up and like do a rosary and like say the Hail Mary in front of people.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy. Anyways, maplegrovepartners.com. If you shouldn't forget that one. We say it all the time. And of course, hosting plans start as little as $10 a month. He is a WordPress specialist and super, super secure. Mike, I've been listening to a new podcast from WordFence. They are a plugin for WordPress that's security. And they have their own podcast now. And I think it's called Think Like a Hacker or something like that. Super interesting and super scary all at the same time. These guys see the worst of the web. And so it's kind of like Cyber Frontiers, not as in-depth as Christian goes. Christian's got all of this, but you host a website, if you have a WordPress site, if you have any of those things, they do not pimp their service at all on the podcast. And it's been pretty good. So if you look for, and I just did this impromptu, so I didn't, let me make sure I wasn't planning on saying this, nor am I endorsing their plugin, but it was a really cool, it's been a really cool podcast if you're interested in that security piece. And it's not called Suit and Scrubs. Where the heck is Suit and Scrubs?
It's coming. It's coming back. I promise. We've got some in the can. We've got a plan for it. Don't give up on us. That's that. If you stay subscribed. Although your podcatcher app has probably already kicked us off because it's been over a month. So
no, it's stayed there for me. So, and now I can't find this. I think it's called Think Like a Hacker. Shoot. Let's see. I'll put it in the show notes. So
while you're talking about that one, Lawrence Systems on YouTube. First of all, if you're into kind of business around IT, small business, setting up Wi-Fi units, all sorts of that stuff. They're great. But Lawrence Systems has a new series they do called How They Got Hacked. Same sort of thing. They cover some of the bigger kind of hacking stories that you haven't heard about. Really cool. So along that same lines.
Super great. Think like a hacker with WordFence. I was super close.
Think
So
like a hacker.
check that out. Not the smoothest podcast in the world, but some really good information if you're in that space. Something worth listening to. Don't forget,
if you love us, you'll love them. It's perfect. You know,
kind of awkward and an old guy and a young guy. So if you listen to Home Gadget Geeks on your phone, get the app available. Android or iPhone available for you. Of course, streaming is the best way to get that on our apps, and that's the way Spreaker does it. So go to homegadgetgeeks.com and you can get that downloaded for free. Mike, we actually had to pause our HelloFresh boxes this week. We got 5. No. We got backed up. Like I had HelloFresh constipation. That's what I had. Like there's 5 bags in the fridge. It's like, what do we do? When are we going to cook these things?
a little backed up.
I just got a little backed up. So we've slowed down. But that's the great thing about HelloFresh is if you get into a spot where you're having a little trouble getting things moving, you can just stop the service and they stop coming. And so it's been good. We got some things to catch up, and yet we were going to cook last night, and I took her out to dinner at Roma's, and then we we're going to do some stuff tonight. We had leftovers from Roma's, so we're going to have to do some cooking. One of the cool things about the whole thing is that if you do delay, you get some stuff in the fridge, you just don't use it. The fresh stuff is going to go bad. Just throw that in your compost pile. Then go to the store and just buy what you need. It's super easy. Like you can just replace it with fresh stuff. And so I've got a bunch of coupons. I think I'm up to 7 now because nobody's been asking for them for a while. So if you want a HelloFresh coupon, I can basically get you an entire week for free. So I have a bunch of those. So send me an email, jim@theaverageguy.tv, and I'll give you the code. We are live every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern. By the way, I don't make any money off that. Okay. No money. It's just, I just do it because it's super good. Okay. We are live every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern, out here at theaverageguy.tv/live. We definitely have some stuff to update you on crypto. So if you want to stay around for the crypto show, don't leave. Don't go taking off. And thanks for everybody who joined us on the live show and has given us the appreciation for tonight too. So we appreciate you guys. Stay around for a little bit. I have got an update on a Seagate RMA that I sent in. Had a little interesting story around that. And we have some other things as well about pricing. So hang tight. We'll be back. With that, we'll say goodnight, everybody. All right. If you made it this far, you've made it to the post show. Congratulations, especially if you found it on Patreon. You should get an award. In fact, I deem you Patreon finder, whatever. I don't know. Because it's really hard to find for whatever reason. Mike, maybe I shouldn't put these on Patreon. It is a great place to put them.
I think it's a perfect place to put them. Yeah.
Yeah. And Patreon has an RSS feed, by the way. If you go out there, if you ask me, I'll give you the link to it. You can subscribe for free for nothing. You don't even have to give us anything. In fact, when you give us money through Patreon, it creates a taxable event for me. So I'm not saying I don't appreciate it, but I do have to claim it on my taxes. But it's offset by the stuff I pay for. But we do have an RSS feed that you can get if you want it the post show automatically. Just let me know, and I give you the RSS feed. You can find it, I think, on the Patreon page. Great way to do it. Mike, the saga of the Seagate drives continues. So when we left off 3 weeks ago, because I think it's been a while, I had RMA'd, let's just step back a little bit. I had RMA'd a Seagate 8 terabyte drive that I had for a while. Sent it in. They sent me a new one. I paid $15, got the express shipping. It came in 2 days, swapped it out, sent the old one back. Boom, we're good. I'm loading burst files. I'm creating burst nonces because that's what I do on these drives. And that one fails like 3 days into it. And I was like, no, Seagate, no, this is not good. Like I don't mind paying for a normal RMA.
Right.
I'm not going to pay twice. So I sent him a note through the website and said, hey, I'm not going to pay. And I was super nice about it. I just said, hey, I would appreciate it. I just got this thing and it's broke. And they're like, okay, we're going to make a one-time exception. Great job, Seagate. Great job on the one-time exception. Cause that was exactly what needed to happen. Right. So, they sent out they sent me a shipping label and then I had to ship the box back. I keep all my boxes. So I just put it back in the box and shipped it back to them. And then a week later, I got a different drive. So this is not these are not the ones I bought. This is a different, this is the backup plus hub. So not that fancy, to be honest, but it does have two USB 3.0 ports on the front of the box. So it's just not the standard drive that's in there. Still SMR drives. I'm pretty sure that are in there. Still SMR. And
it's still 3.5-inch, or it looks small.
No, it's actually the same size. I think the picture just makes it look
slim. Yeah.
I was like, cool. Okay, this is really cool. Like I got a hub. I'll never use it, but it was kind of cool that they sent it to me. I thought brand new, and I was thinking, oh, sweet, it's got a 2-year warranty on it. Well, in a warranty replacement, of course, they don't extend those warranties out.
Okay.
So when I went on the website, it had been shortened. It had been shortened up for me. So still, I think 3 months, a 3-month warranty. So if it did break right away, I would be able to send that back. So far, so good. It's been running great. It's all plotted, and I got burst going on it. So, for a bad situation, and it seems like all my drives right now are doing great. It seems like we've settled in. I had a rash. I lost 2 8-terabyte drives, and then I lost 1 or 2 of my internal drives. I've been buying some 3 and 4 terabyte internal drives to do burst with. BHD as well. We double mine on that now, which has been pretty cool. And both of those, even through eBay, I got I sent an eBay drive back to there's this company called Discount Parts 99. Great eBay number, right? And I contacted them and said, hey, I got a drive that I bought 3 months ago that's bad, and they have an automated process that says, okay, we checked the serial number, you're good, just here's the label, send it in. And I sent it in, and they gave me my money back. I would have preferred they sent me another drive, but they gave me my money back, and then I just ordered another drive, and it came in a couple days. So I've had really good luck with hard drives lately. I have no complaints. So I'm up to, I think, 90 terabytes.
Back up. So it's so funny. You had been up at, what were you at your max? Like 160?
100. Let's see. I had 14 times 8. Whatever that turns out to be, plus some change, plus some change. I was in the, what is that? I should
122, I think, right?
14. Let's see. Where's the calculator? So 14 times 8. 112. 112. Plus, I think I had another, I probably had another 24 in 3 and 4 terabyte drives. So let's say 136 terabytes maybe at the peak. And then I sold 6 of those off. I thought I was really going to get out of burst. And so I sold those off, and then I couldn't sell anymore. And then this BHD thing has been interesting to mine on. And so, and so I've been, that I bought 1 more 8 terabyte drive. I filled in I bought a couple additional 4 terabyte drives. Still holds true. If I need to sell them for whatever reason, they're still sellable. I'm losing money on them right now as they're on their way down, but no, not bad. I don't regret it. Some people got some $100 8 terabyte drives from me. That's a good deal for them. It didn't kill me.
Yeah.
Kind of wish I'd kept them.
Don't we all? It's like my graphics card. I wish I would have kept 1. I need 1 graphics card, and why did I not just keep 1 and selling all 4?
I know.
Or I had 5 maybe at the time. I think I had 5.
I know. You should have kept 1.
I know.
I have been continuing. So burst continued to go as well. I continue to do some of that stuff. So that's going pretty well. And it's just fun. Burst pricing is super low. So we'll never see the light of day. I continue to mine BitTube just because I can. Low power miner. I think I've mined 500 coin. They're worth a nickel. They oscillate between 2.5 cents and a nickel. I've been contemplating trying to play that spread a little bit more because it's been bouncing in between that pretty consistently. So sell when it gets to 5, buy back in when it gets to 2.5, and just see if I can repeat that. Not because I'm going to make any money off of it, but just because it's kind of fun. Like I don't go to the casinos.
Yeah, so this is the entertainment side of it. Yeah.
So I've been kind of messing around with that piece, and then there's just been a general upturn in crypto. We're off
There was actually a pretty good upturn there. It's leveled back out a little bit, but it still didn't come back down to where it was. We still got a little bit of a bump. It had a pretty big bump. And then we saw that spike, right? And then it stayed there for a day or two. And then recently, actually today, it kind of came back. It's about halfway from where it was.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And it seems to be stabilizing around 5,000 if we're talking about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. Just a side note, I got a really cool chance. I was at a high school out in Gretna here in town, and I was talking to their computer classes. And I love to ask the question. I was talking about our high school internship program, and I asked the question, what's a blockchain? And of course, all the kids know, and I shouldn't say all of them, but the ones that answer the question say, oh, it's Bitcoin's tied to it. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so we're there. Talk about the benefits of a blockchain and how you can use it. That's one of my most fun conversations to have with high school students now, because they kind of get, when we talk about the ability of a ledger and to be able to have it public, but have it be able to be secure. And then I say, so what could you use that for? Like, how would you use that? Get some interesting answers. A lot of them don't know, but it is a fun, it's a fun conversation to have. Pricing wise, it got kind of fun again for a while.
It really did. It was on a little bit of a run there.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to update everybody on is if you have not opened a Coinbase account, you just should. So contact me. Like if you use my code, I get $10 and you get $10, which is pretty cool. Couple of things quietly, Coinbase has been expanding the number of coins that's available in their wallet. So they had the standard Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, and this 0x, which is an Ethereum-based kind of token that's out there. But lately, they have put quietly XRP or Ripple on there, and that has been a really, really popular coin. We've all, I think, bought and sold and trade that. Mike, I moved my Ripple off of Bittrex, I think is where it had been.
You just read my mind. In my mind, I'm like, I really need to get mine transferred over there and then get my dad sent to him, because my dad finally opened his Coinbase account, so I'm no longer holding as many of his, and I just need to send that back over to him.
Yeah, and so XRP is over there, or Ripple, which is available. So if you had Ripple sitting on an exchange, there wasn't a great place to put that. Never really found the wallet, and I didn't try either, but you can put that in your Coinbase now. And then Stellar is over there, Stellar Lumens, which they have some training. So Stellar is a fixed rate kind of coin, right? It's $1, and they try to keep it. It's one of those coins where they're trying to keep the value exactly the same, kind of based on the currency. So if you're looking for a stable, if you're going to move coins around, you could sell Bitcoin into lumens, and you could get at least some stability in the market, right? And then sell those back in. So they actually, right now, there's a promotion going on Coinbase where if you watch 4 videos, they'll give you $50 of $50. Wow, I have to. There's a couple things you need to do to get that done.
But just watch 4 videos.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's go to the details really quick, because I have. Yeah, you watch
user or.
Yeah, then you have to get a couple people. You get up to $10 for watching the video, and then if you get 4 people to join, I think they give you $10 each.
Interesting. Okay.
For that. So if you're going to do that, Mike, let me know. I don't know if there's a thing. Eligible customers, $10. Yeah, let me know. That's another one of those things. If you want to try that on Coinbase, let me know, and you can. I think you get 10 and I get 10 or something like that. Is the way that works. But Stellar Lumens is what they're calling them, and they're trying to do some education around that. It's pretty awesome for Coinbase to have this, because it's like having a cash account that's not cash.
That's true. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah. So and then let's see, was there one other thing on Coinbase? Let me see here, that I think they had added one more. Yes, they had added. They have a USD coin, or USDC, that's available. They have a new what's called basic attention token, and they're trying to capitalize on these rewards for doing things, and that these BATs are basic attention tokens, or this idea. And they have another. That's another thing. They have a contest. You go out, watch a couple videos, and they'll give you, I don't know, $1, $10, something like that, maybe $10 worth for trying that out. Zcash is another one that's popped up on Coinbase quietly. That had been a really hot, popular coin for a while, and is whatever. So quietly, Coinbase has added a ton of kind of cool. They haven't added. You would expect them to add maybe Cardano or Tron or Tether, Monero, Dash. So those are some of the ones we watched. Those are on their list that they track, but that aren't available actually to buy or trade yet through Coinbase. Now, if you go to GDAX, I think that's the trading side of
Coinbase. Yep.
You can still trade all those on the GDAX side, but they're not available on the Coinbase side to hold in the wallets. So pretty good. If you haven't logged into your Coinbase account, you might want to log in.
Very good reminder, because I had, a lot of these sites, like I just logged into Bittrex, the whole interface has changed since the last time I logged in, because a lot of these you sit there, and then you track them on your phone in a different like wallet app or something, and you never actually log in. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. What was interesting with this latest run, this latest Bitcoin run, it didn't pull up the bottom altcoins. So typically what had been happening is Bitcoin would move, everybody, all the altcoins would either move. So if Bitcoin went down, they would all go down. If it went up, they would all go up. It was a little bit of, and that's kind of boring, just to be 100% honest. Like you're like, like if the market moves based on one coin, that's kind of stupid. Like
right,
you can't do anything with that. But when on this latest Bitcoin run, it pulled up maybe the top 25% of the coins along with it. Ethereum made a run. Bitcoin Cash made a big run on that. I don't particularly know why, but it did. Was it? Do I get the right one? Was that Bitcoin Cash? Ethereum? Yeah, it was Bitcoin Cash. It's actually off. It spiked even more than Bitcoin did, which is interesting. But it did not pull the bottom, like burst. Like it didn't pull that up. It didn't pull up any of the Saya derivatives that we've been looking at or talking about. They continue to stay very, very flat. Well, okay, when that kind of thing happens, all of a sudden you get some ideas of what's going on in the market, right? That's good. That's good for coins, right? It's good that they're not responding in the same way. Because what I think that does is it starts to add value to the coins that are probably going to make it and the coins that probably aren't in this. In a lot of cases, these coins can stay out there for a very long time. And so it's not like they're going to just shut off, like somebody's going to turn the server off.
And with TRX being really the only one that did flow with it, that was interesting because I had that same thought of, okay, what does that say? Why is TRX, why is Tron one of the only ones moving with it? Because Tron saw a really nice bump. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what that means for these different coins, the ones that did follow and the ones that didn't follow.
Yeah. No, it'd be worth some analysis. Like it would be like, okay, what moved on this bump and what didn't? I think the other question too, some good analysis by someone should do, is chart the number of new coin creations by month and see. I feel like the trend is way down.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
I would think so too, but I don't know the numbers. Again,
all anecdotal. One of those things that you kind of go, I don't know. It sure feels like it.
Right.
So, and then there's some specialty coins that are doing some really interesting things. So I think it's kind of worth staying in touch with. I think if you like the financial space, I think coins are an interesting place to be where you watch for the trends. It's also one of those things where not a lot of things matter, and you're like, why is this moving this way? Still a lot of pump and dumps going on, tons of pump and dumps going on. So I think the market is ripe for that kind of space. And so it makes it kind of interesting. I think if you jumped in here with us and you've got 50 or 60 bucks left, maybe in an account somewhere, some things you bought, and maybe it's worth 300, but it's gone all the way down to 50. I don't think it hurts to stay and do some stuff with it. Try and, especially in the last couple weeks, if you had moved that around and taken advantage of some things there, you might have seen a pretty nice little bump.
Yeah.
On some of those. So, Mike, so you're still holding quite a bit,
I am,
right,
yeah.
at this point? Yeah.
Yep.
And so how are you kind of managing that?
So it's mainly in Bittrex and Coinbase. I actually just logged in. I was like, where is my Saya? And that might have been on the R710 that I wiped. So
no.
I have all the keys saved.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
good.
Okay, good.
So I'm good.
I was going to say, you should be able to get that back.
Yeah, it is. It's just the app, the actual wallet.
You put a wallet.
And I got to put the wallet somewhere else
it in.
and do it and get the seeds and everything like that. But so yeah, I have it in Bittrex and then Coinbase, but I still love Crypto Pro on the iPhone. I think it's a great app it's not a
paid app or free.
I think I might have paid for it. Okay. It's not a buy sell trade app. It's literally a portfolio app, but you can have several portfolios. So if you want to keep track of these things for different reasons, it's what you bought in at. It's a great app to track. So that is the app I used, and it's my portfolio, and I know exactly where I stand on all my different holdings for crypto across the board.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to consolidate just as many as I can. I think I have, and I have to go in. Let me look really quick and see. I've been keeping track of all of this. I have a Bitcoin folder in LastPass that is like, okay, where are, where's all my stuff? And this is one of those things you bring up this point, Mike, that you're like, you got to you forget, you think when you set this stuff up that you'll remember.
And you won't.
No, You're like, oh, where did I think it's under crypto. Even now I'm having trouble. I'm like, okay, where did I put that? So I have a folder called crypto locations. So I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. So I still have a little bit left over there in NiceHash. So I've got some Bitcoin over there. Not much, but I got some Bitcoin over there.
Are they still paying out, or are they done catching up?
No, they're about 74% paid. I checked that today. They're paying about 1% a month now. It was like 25%, and then it went to 10%, and then it went to 7%, and then it went to 5%, and then it went to 3%. And so getting the last 25% could take a while. This current market turnaround a little bit could have helped them some, and we may see those payouts. You could opt out of the payouts and say, okay, I'm done, so that you could do some other things. I've stayed in. It doesn't make sense. I don't have much there, maybe $15, right? So, but might as well. I've got some. So in Coinbase, I got a little Ethereum, got a little Litecoin. I've got a bunch of Burst and a Burst mining wallet that I created a separate wallet, separate passwords. It's just cold storage. So every time I do some Burst stuff, I just move that over into cold storage, and it sits in its own wallet. I haven't mined with that wallet. I don't, that number's not showing up anywhere. Not that it's, all that stuff's worth like $15. That, 30,000 Burst coins. Yeah. It's worth like 6 cents. So it's not really true, but it's probably worth a little bit more than that. But I moved the Ripple from Bittrex over to Coinbase. I got Tron on Binance. I think that's probably where you were. You still have your Tron on Binance? Is that?
I transferred over to Saya.
Okay.
Or sorry, to Saya, to Bittrex.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I still have some Storj from way back in the day. That's my Ether wallet. Yeah. Actually, that's worth a little bit. I have maybe 200, and those things are they're worth a little bit of money.
Interesting.
I keep thinking I should just sell that stuff because I'm never going to do storage. Saya is in their wallets, and I had some Hyperspace, I had some Saya Prime, I had some Saya and some Saya Classic. That is just it's just a shit show.
That's what I'm looking at right now is Saya, and I'm trying to figure out what I have. What is
those communities? Those communities are hilarious. They're just super funny. They all have their own Discord communities too. That's how I kind of keep track of them. Is through the Discord communities. So, that's kind of my portfolio at this point. And I think storage. Let me look them up. I use an app. We haven't talked about this in a while. I use an app called CoinCap. Can't buy and sell, although I think it can. To be true, I wouldn't trade through the app. I'm not a big fan of that on my phone. But it lets you set up 3 different portfolios. Storage 26 cents, which considering it's $50. I got $50 and that's, it's not too bad.
No.
That'd buy me some more burst.
Yeah.
I could buy like 1 million
I
burst.
really wanted to burn it.
I could burst is burst is currently at 0.4 of a cent. Oh my god. Although, okay, so it's 0.4 of a cent. I still have $175 in burst because we mined so much. Yeah. All of a sudden you're like, okay, that's not too bad.
See, I have like $55 in burst.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not too bad when you start thinking about that. You're like, okay, maybe if that thing moved even to a penny, I'd be double. So that now all of a sudden that's $350. Okay, that's not. I mean, that's not too bad.
2 more 8 terabyte hard drives, for some. Okay, oh yeah, here we go.
Kind of.
And then all I need is to get to 2 pennies.
Yeah. 2 pennies gets me 4 8 terabyte hard drives. And man, at that, I am crushing
it.
I am.
It's so funny. Actually, the Saya UI, though, I had not used the new one. Not bad looking.
Oh, really? Okay.
That modern one. Have you used it?
No.
It's like 1.4. If you just go to the website and get their new UI, it's actually really nice.
That must be really new because I just did a couple weekends ago. I went through all the Saya wallets just to make sure they were updated. I updated the blockchains. I just kind of did some updates to them, and they were still all the old UIs. Let me go on a tangent real quick here. So I've been, I had some really intense data days on my Cox account. So I'm trying to stay under the 1 terabyte. Right?
Yeah,
1 terabyte. So like on the 27th, 28th, and 29th, my daughter was home. I was doing a bunch of Windows updates. I was updating. This is the weekend I was updating all the blockchains. And so I had to re-import some, and they're not big, but some of them are pretty big. So like on the 27th, I did 122 gig in a day.
That's
on
a
the
big day.
Yeah, I did. And I did some Xbox stuff too.
Gotcha.
Right.
Those are killer.
Yeah. A game is 60 gig.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, dang it. 102 gig on the 28th, 80 gig on the 29th, 125 gig on the 29th, 80 gig on the 30th, and then it drops down.
Through.
Oh, dude, it just totally talk about blowing the budget, right?
Right.
So I've been like, okay, am I gonna make it to the end of the month? So yesterday I had 2 days left, and I was at 998 gig. So I had 26 gig left. And today I'm at 1,008 gig. So I have 16. Now I can't see what I'm doing, but this has been a fun, can I get in?
Yeah.
Can I get, listen, if I go over, it's $10, not that big of a deal. Cox will automatically give me 50 gig. Although I wish then I had time to spend that 50 gig. You're like, I need to download some things. So we'll see. Tomorrow is the day. So I'm
been paying $50 a month for unlimited.
Oh, there you go. Talk about budget
but I've been 2.5 terabytes a month for the past 2-3 months. So we've been cranking through.
Yeah. Gigablast is coming, or it's here.
It is here. You have it, I thought.
No, I ordered it and it got canceled because I don't think it was really ready for my area.
It's ready in our neighborhood, and they keep trying to get me to do it, but I'm not. I have no interest in that.
I don't know if I need it.
I want the up speed, honestly.
Right.
That's what I want, and because the uploading files is what takes you and I, people who create podcasts, and if you're uploading videos, that's what takes forever. I would rather have a gig up and half a gig down. I don't really care about my down. Probably the minority there, but
no, I'm with you. Anybody still in chat? I cried. I'm like, anyone? Is anyone interested in this? I don't know.
We're doing this to the Patreon.
Actually, we've got a handful of people who listen to it through the Patreon link. I think.
Hey, Joe's still there.
Okay.
Joe wants to hear me talk more about man purses. That's what he's.
Jason's still hanging out. Oh, okay, good. Ron's still there. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Whew. I was a little worried we'd driven everybody away.
No one cared about this, Jim, by the way.
It's the low point of the show.
The low point of my podcasting career.
The man bag.
Bringing up, yeah.
No, actually, it's a satchel, is what Jason says. Yeah, it's a satchel. Actually, I think it's interesting. Would be interesting is like what kind of tech gear could you put in there?
Oh, totally. Yeah, what could you fit back there?
What would you be comfortable from a tech gear standpoint? What would you be comfortable? That flashlight's super handy. I like it. I like that. So we talked about that a bunch in the show. But yeah, no, I liked it, man. I'm glad you brought it up. That was a good, totally unexpected. Like I wasn't. You talked about that in the pre-show, and I was kind of, and then when you started explaining it, I was like, oh, that is super interesting. But I wonder.
Oh, it's one of those rabbit hole, man, and it's so intriguing to see what people fill it with.
Andrew says he's got 3 cents of Bitcoin. You shouldn't do anything for 3 cents of Bitcoin. Like don't. No,
he's got 0.03 of a Bitcoin. That's more than 3 cents.
Yeah, that's way more than 3 cents.
Yeah.
So, well, just you can, if you've got the keys to it, Andrew, you can
$150.
You can send that over to Coinbase. Oh, cool. Thanks, Ron. Ron said he sent me some mail. Andrew says there should be a USB flash drive equivalent. What's on your USB flash drive that you carry? Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I should put a USB flash drive in here. You know, that's a good addition to the everyday carry.
Yeah, but do you really like? What would you keep on a flash drive that you couldn't just pull off the internet?
It would just be transferring things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. They locked that all down for us, so I don't like USB flash drives are meaningless to me.
Yeah, I throw everything into Nextcloud now.
Your own?
Yeah,
your own Docker.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
it's insanely cool.
I don't find that I really move that much data around anymore. Maybe it's my place in life or whatever.
Yeah,
but I just don't find I'm not collecting MP3s.
True.
Right. I don't. All my documents are stored somewhere else by someone else. The difference would be pictures.
It is videos. The best syncing app to a local storage, and it's great for family documents that we share, right? Kids daycare emails us a document. I put it in the shared, because Hannah's on our Nextcloud too. She has her own account, and we have a shared folder between the two of us. Drop those documents in there so we always have access to them.
Yeah.
Works really good.
Andrew says he uses his drive for installing operating systems. Very valid. That would be if you're into that. I don't do that very much, but I do have a whole bunch of my drives down here. I have an empty 10 bay or 10 connection USB that when we first started mining, remember I bought those.
Well, that's what you were doing those on.
Yeah. And it was terribly inefficient. And so what I started doing was they're not even plugged in anything, but all my flash drives are in the base. It's kind of a holder. It's a $40 flash drive holder for me. So it's pretty dumb, but it works.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I've got so there's pfSense.
Yep.
Uh-oh, that one's not written on. Blank. There's Windows. Just write it on there. Mm-hmm. This should be, this is Ubuntu. There's that. This is Untangle. Got all, but it's great. You just keep them, right? So then I always have, it might not be the latest version, but it's enough to get you installed and ready to go. And those all just sit. I have a spot for them on my server rack. It's amazing how many times you just whip those out. It's like, I already have Ubuntu on a flash drive. I don't need to go out and.
I use an empty one of those 10. That's a 10 bays. It's not plugged in anything, and they're just all plugged in. It's not plugged in anything, but it makes a great storage holder for all those. For all those drives. Yeah.
What's Minix?
Oh, it's Andrew. There's got to be some Linux derivative.
Is it? I'm an Ubuntu guy. Or CentOS.
Is that Mint Linux? Minix?
Oh, maybe.
Andrew,
I've only used CentOS and Ubuntu.
I always go to Ubuntu for like a day, and then I'm like, this is the worst thing ever.
Really? I don't mind it.
I can't.
I've thought about going full-time Linux.
Yeah, I have too. But every time, like I said, every time I do it, and then I start using it, I'm like,
Why can't this?
No, this just feels like a really bad version of Windows.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and again, some people really love it. So, super cool. Mike, anything else on the crypto side? We should. I'm
waiting for my Saya wallet to fully sync to make sure I have all my transactions.
Yeah,
I'm going to send that all from this wallet over to Bittrex, so at least it's all there.
I think Saya is even worse off than Burst.
Probably. Yeah. Tron has been the best of all of them. Just saying.
The best of the worst is what you're saying.
Best of the worst. It got up to 3 cents during that spike.
During that run.
Yeah.
We were buying it in the 8 and 9 cents. Is that where or was it more when?
Yeah, I think it was right around 10.
Yeah. I really ought to, and I think I'm going to run out of time this year. I really ought to sell those and take the loss. And for my taxes next year, it's too late now for this year, for last year's taxes. But I really ought to dump some of those that I really don't think I'm going to use again.
Yeah.
Maybe wait for a spike and sell them, and then see maybe if the market dips again, maybe worth just buying back in. But so if you're listening to the post show, if you're listening live, thanks for guys, Andrew, Ron, Jason, good to see you out here tonight, by the way. Appreciate that. Dave and I are back on Ask the Podcast Coach on Saturday. This Saturday, Jason, we'll see you out there. And Joe, thanks guys. Thanks for staying around for the crypto. Hopefully, for those of you who are our crypto listeners, well, I at one point, Mike, I talked about maybe stop. I was like, maybe there's just not enough in crypto. This latest run
got us all excited again.
Okay, let's talk about it. So what more? Let me ask you this: what more do you want to hear us talk about? Send me an email, jim@theaverageguy.tv. If there's some specific topics you'd love to have us talk about, we'll study up on those. We'll see you guys next week. Remember, Tony Rayner is here next week, and we have Habitat. Is that what I said?
Yep.
Is that we'll have those guys on, and that'll be another fun interview. We'll get a chance. These guys are kind of up and coming in the home automation space. We'll see you guys next week, and I'll have Guinness for sure. We'll see you.